Hello everybody, my name is Travis. Welcome to my channel, Tech Gamer, and today, by golly, I have a build for you that I have been trying to build for a while now. This has been my long-awaited, probably most eluded build for the best of the beginning of this year. To be honest, it's been a while. Now I'm here and I'm going to show you the parts I'm going to be using for my entry-level PC known as the Ryzen Sun. First thing on the list, because it is called the Ryzen Sun, we're going to be using Ryzen for this build. So, I have here the Ryzen 2200G. This is a great APU to at least start out your gaming lifestyle, career, I don't know what you want to call it, but this will be a great start for gaming. So APU has 4 cores. It's being shared by the Vega 3 graphics that it has. This has a base clock of 3.5 gigahertz and a max clock or boost clock of 3.7 gigahertz. Definitely has the power to do what it needs to do. So this is the Gigabyte B450M. Because it has the M variant means that we have overclocking opportunities for this board. I mean, for this processor. This board in particular has had some pretty good reviews actually from other tech tubers as well as other retailing sites like Amazon, Newegg, and eBay. Pretty powerful little guy for a budget board. Keep that in mind. It's a nice budget board and it's pretty good. So for our boot drive, we have the XPG down there. So it's going to be an M.2 SSD. It has 128 gigs, so perfect for our boot drive and maybe a couple core applications, however you want to define that. For all of our games, since this is going to be a gaming rig, we're going to have our lovely Toshiba over there. It's the 7200 RPM hard drive. And it has 1 terabyte worth of data that we could just throw anything we want into it. That's right. We'll just spit all the programs that we want into that hard drive and it will just take it all. Coming from our sweet little Patriot Viper over there. That's going to be our RAM. It's 3000 megahertz. So it's definitely going to, this little guy right here is going to benefit from that little boost. It is a 8 gig kit, so it's 2x4. I think 8 gigs is pretty much good for an entry-level system. You're not really going to be doing anything grand on an entry-level system, so 8 gigs I think is a nice sweet spot. In this case, for this build, since this is entry-level and we're not really going to be doing anything grand like streaming or anything like that, 8 gigs is perfectly fine for everything we're going to throw at it. And of course, we're going to put everything that we have here in our case. So this is the SRM01. We actually do have a couple YouTubers out there who have used this case and don't have any complaints about it. It does its job. And it is a cheap case, not a budget case. It's cheap. 20 bucks. Gets the job done though. Of course, all this cannot work without power, and that's where we have our EVGA Bronze Edition or Bronze rated 600 watt power supply. This is complete overkill for a build like this, I know, but keep in mind, 600 watts can give us a lot of headroom for upgrades. Of course, some of our peripherals to be able to make all this kind of come together, we have the Chonchao, as I like to call it, Chonchao Combo Kit. It is a $25 kit on Amazon, and I'm not really disappointed with it. It's pretty decent. It does its job. So it comes with a keyboard. It's an RGB keyboard. Comes with an RGB mouse as well as a mouse pad. Gets the job done. Speaking of which, we have our build right here. That's pretty much everything. But of course, you know, none of this can come together without some tools, right? Of course. So, some of the tools you will need. Of course, the most common one that people have or people will recommend, a screwdriver. This might be a little too big, but depending on the case you're using, such as if you use sleeper builds, you might need one of these either in a Phillips variant or a flathead variant, depending on the type of case and the type of screws you have. I'm going to be using this right here. So this is This is the iFixit Protect Kit, toolkit. It comes with various bits that you will use for just pretty much anything and everything. And of course, if you're like me and haven't actually opened half of this, you're going to need a knife. If you're young enough where you can't use this on your own or can't be trusted, make sure you have an adult with you as you're going through the process. So let's go ahead and get everything off of this table, and we'll go ahead and start with our motherboard, processor, our APU, and our RAM. Alright guys, welcome back. So, to start this off, we have our motherboard, the B450M DS3H. Pretty good board. I actually did a video on this, so it's already open. So, what we're actually just going to need one of these, and that's going to be for our mass storage, by the way. So, we're going to go ahead and take this out. Also underneath here, we got our I/O shield. We're going to need this for later. As for the rest of this, we really don't need anything else that's in here. If anything, we could probably get the manual out because we'll probably need to consult this later when it comes to like your power, your hard drive light, and stuff like that. So the most common surface, I guess anti-static surface, is going to be your cardboard box that, your stuff comes in. It's the most common one, so you don't have to worry. By the way, as a little bit of a heads up, if you're not used to this, or if it's your first time and you're afraid of ESD, you got stuff like this you can use to help mitigate that. Or if you really want to be safe, you can go ahead and use an ESD wrist strap or an ESD mat, which pretty much would be like a rubberized mat with a button that you can use for your wristband and stuff like that. But I'm just going to go ahead and use what I got here. So as I mentioned, this baby is actually not that bad. It's a nice little powerful guy. And pretty much it right there. We're done. Alright, cool. Bye. Just kidding. We're not done. So, we're going to go ahead and let's go ahead and put in the RAM first, as that could get a little intimidating. So I'll just go ahead and move this right here. Yep, other one right here on the table. So typically, as the manual states, and as most of us usually do, usually you would use every other slot. So usually these are color coded. You probably can't see it here because it probably looks all black, but it's black and gray. You just go to every other slot, and that's usually the safe bet. And of course, these guys are keyed. So what I mean by keyed is that they have a little indentation. Hold on, let me go ahead and focus for you guys. So there's a little key right here, or a little indentation. On the board has like a little slot that points up. As long as you match it, it will go into place. Basically, you can only put this in one way. You can't mess this up. To be quite honest, you can't mess this up. Boom. Now see if it doesn't go in, check. And in this case, I just showed you guys that it can't go in any other way. That's because it really can't. And in this case, I just proved that. So I had to switch the RAM around, take both of your thumbs, and just, until you hear that satisfying click, you should be able to literally lift this up, and it should lift up. Same thing with the other one. So, boom, we're going to go ahead and put it in the slot. Try to see if you can match in both sides, both thumbs, and boom, satisfying clicks. Doesn't move at all. Awesome. So now next is going to be our processor, or APU. So make sure that the retention arm goes all the way up. Now because I haven't actually opened this, this is where our lovely knife comes into play. We're going to go ahead and just take this, and then this knife's a little dull, I have to sharpen it. But there you go. See? It's a much cleaner experience than, just tearing it apart. So in this usually we have the fan in here already with a pre-applied thermal paste as well as our processor. So let's go ahead and insert the processor. So right where my finger is at, so where the retention arm's at, there is a triangle there. So you're gonna hold your APU like this with your fingers on the side of the processor, and you're basically just going to drop it in place. Now, like RAM, it actually just falls into place. If you need to, you can just go ahead and wiggle this. Oh, sorry. Turn this around. And I mean, just like it did there. See, it fell into place. Watch. I shouldn't even really be doing that because, well, I actually heard it just clunk into place. So, basically you just take the retention arm, push it all the way down until it snaps into place, and look, I can move this whole thing with the processor and it's not going to pop out. So you should be good. Once you hear the click, you're good. We're going to go ahead and use our included cooler, and to be brutally honest with you guys, this is actually the first time that I'm actually using an air cooler. So this is, I believe this is the Wraith Spire. I want to say this is the Wraith Spire and or the Stealth. So air cooler, first time I'm using this, has pre-applied thermal paste. Do not touch it. It is real, trust me. Before we can apply our case or our cooler, we got to remove these two brackets. Those brackets, by the way, are for an older style mounting solution. This will require the bigger screwdriver. As you can see, these screws are actually legit big. So we're just going to go ahead and remove them. Then we can just basically lift up and then whoop. There we go. Perfect. Now that we have our competition out of the way, we're going to go ahead and see what orientation we want this in. So you get the choice. So you can either do it like this, or you can do it like this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go like this because I want to... Actually, let me see. What can I do with this? Yeah, no. I'm just going to go like this because path of least resistance for our cable. So in this case, it looks like it's pretty easy. You just match up the mounting holes for your screws. And then I'm going to take my screwdriver and actually start screwing in one end. And we're just going to work our way.
So I'm pretty much screwing in this CPU heatsink to the motherboard. I am screwing in a cross pattern, which will ensure that the CPU heatsink will get an even amount of pressure applied to it, thus maximizing its cooling potential or cooling performance to the processor.
Any side. With our cable, we're just going to go ahead and have it pop a squat right there. Boom. We are in. We can go ahead and start moving some of this stuff out because we're not going to need it now since it's already installed. Beautiful. All leaving my sites. Awesome. So next we're going to have our SSD or M.2 SSD. So with all of these, we have a little mounting screw right here, as well as the actual thing itself. So all you have to do is basically get your screwdriver, unscrew the mounting screw. It's usually very small, so don't try not to lose it. And these are actually fairly easy to install. So I'll show you. Oh, and this even comes with a signature heat spreader. That's up to you guys whether or not you want to use it. I'm honestly not going to, because to me it doesn't really make much of a difference. So this is an M.2, and the reason why it says the reason why it's an M.2 is because one, it says it here, M2A, and two, because of the position of the key. So know the difference between the different keys, for they do have different purposes, but can universally be used for essentially the same thing if you really try. So slide it in. It should look like that, by the way, so don't be alarmed if it pops up. You're going to press it down. And you're going to take your screw and you're going to screw this baby in. And make sure that you screw with confidence, because if you don't screw with confidence, something is wrong. Something is wrong. So now we're pretty much complete now with the motherboard. Put it in the case. Let's go ahead and do that. All right. Okay. Next thing we're actually going to do before we do anything else, believe it or not, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can put on the hard drive. Because if we don't get that on now, it might make it just a tad bit difficult for us. And I only say that with the utmost of love, because it really will be a challenge trying to figure out where to put this. Alright, cool. So it's all fastened in. And now for the next part, we're going to be putting in the cables as well as the power supply. So it looks like this is the only way it's going to go in. You can actually put two of them if you want. So here's the other mounts for those two. These ones actually had the little inserts here, the anti-vibration rubber inserts that do kind of help. So for something like this, it would be useful to have. If your case provides one, that is. So let's go ahead and get the power supply, and we're going to wrap this baby up. Hey guys, welcome back. We're going to go ahead and put in our power supply. So this is our EVGA 600 watts bronze rated power supply. This is a non-modular power supply. What I mean by non-modular is that there are no ports, such as like for these, to go in there individually. So you'll kind of see everything managed together right here at the core. And everything is nice and black, so you don't have to worry about, as everyone else calls it, ketchup and mustard cables. The only caveat to having a case like this is that there's really no other place to get air for like your power supply. So in this case, the fan's facing down. So that means, unfortunately, that's going to mean that we need to face it also down. So when the air goes in, it goes down instead of up, which usually that's the problem with these cases, that in order for it to fit, it needs to go up. Easy way to do this, we're going to go ahead and take this power supply. I'm going to go ahead and feed the cables preemptively through here. So that way we make this transition seamless, or as seamless as we could possibly get it. And I kind of slide it down like this, like so. Some people debate that they should have this in before the rest of the build. I say, we don't need it in before the rest of the build. There you go. Kind of plop it in there. And then once you get it into place as so, usually your case will have screws like this. So that will look like this. Like these types of screws with the heads. Your power supply should also come with the necessary amount, being in this case 4. And as far as I know, it's always been 4. As for the mounting style, that can differ based off of the type of case you have. So I'm going to go ahead and just put this in there. So we're good here. Now all we're going to do is start to cable manage everything and get all the cables to fit. This is where it can get complicated with this particular case. Cases may vary though. Yours may vary. Alright, hello everyone. Now you see my face. To assemble this computer, I am going to say I'm confident that the cable's in there for this part. Probably not right, but let's find out. So if I press this button, it doesn't work. First thing we probably need to do, always turn on your power supply before starting your PC. It'll probably start. Still didn't work. There is a solution for this, and unfortunately, due to the nature of this manual, it does not show how to properly put all the cables together, like all your front panel connectors and stuff like that. But this might, which is the user manual for this case. I don't know, maybe it will, maybe it won't. Actually, I'm just kidding, it will not. It's just a case manual. It definitely does show some pretty unique things about this case. But we're going to have to play, we're going to have to guess. So let's see if we can do that. Hey. Alright, after some guessing and troubleshooting, a lot of this, I think we got it. Let's find out. And wait, we turn that on. One thing I do notice, light is automatically on. I don't know if it's because it's placed wrong or if it's technically right. I'm not sure. But from what I see, if I click a button, watch. It turns on. It's on, baby. That's right. We got our LED right there in the back. I can actually feel the vibration from the hard drive, so I know this is on. You can see the blue light right there, so I know that's on. Does the reset switch work? I don't know. From this point on, it's just a matter of sticking it into a monitor or a TV. Or the ceiling. Yes, you can also plug that into the ceiling. Probably going to plug it into there because currently I have a rig right there, as you can probably see right there, with the HTC5 right there. I'm using the TV as the monitor, only because I can't put everything in my room. Yep. Pan you guys right back here. This build is complete. Now it's complete. I got to do all the cable management now, which is going to be a little bit of a pain, but not as bad as I thought it was going to be. We can just, we'll pretend this is not here. In all actuality, I will put everything back together. It's just, we're going to see how it looks with the cover on. There we go. It's actually not that loud. I say we did pretty good. Yeah, boy. We're finished here. Really don't know if the reset switch is working. I'll have to find out. I'll never know. Until I go back in here and kind of play around with those front panel connectors. Yeah. At this point now, it's a matter of going to the BIOS, seeing this thing actually posted. If it posts with the APU, we don't need to do a BIOS update for the APU. But if it didn't, and it's saying CPU is an issue, then I need to go and get my other Ryzen processor and plop it in here and then do updates. Aside from this, if everything for you went off without a hitch and everything is just hunky-dory, plug and play, and you're good to go, best thing to do, put an operating system of your choice onto your computer. Whether it may be Windows or Linux or anything, you can basically put what you want. You want to make this into a Hackintosh? Pretty good Hackintosh, I'd say. Probably from like, oh, I don't know, 2010, 2012 maybe. But nevertheless, our build is now complete. The Ryzen Sun is now complete. I'm just kidding. It's never complete. Because now, this build is technically complete. Once I go ahead and get all the benchmarking done for this system to see where it stands, then it'll be up to you guys to let me know in the comment section below what you want me to do with this. Do you want me to put a discrete graphics card in here and use just all 4 cores? Or do you want me to go ahead and maybe upgrade some components in here? Technically the GPU is an upgrade, just keep that in mind, but do you want me to upgrade the APU? Maybe you want me to get the 2400G or even maybe the new 3000 series APUs, like the 3200, 3400G. It's up to you guys. What do you want me to do with this PC? I want to go ahead and see if I could test the games that I have, because I don't have all latest games. I don't have AAA titles and stuff like that, or at least as far as I know. I do have a slew of games that we can test and see if it works. I am interested to see how this APU will work against a game like Subnautica, so like sandbox games, like Subnautica or City Skylines, or even other games like DLC Quest. I have DLC Quest, PC Building Simulator, stuff like that. I wonder how this will work, because mostly people will use Overwatch and other AAA modern titles, Apex Legends, Fortnite, Players Unknown Battlegrounds, or PUBG. But you know what? I'm not going to do any of that because, 1, I don't have any of those games. And 2, I want to try something different for once. Have some like more reasonable games that are probably meant for a system like this, but we'll definitely see. I'm interested. If you guys are interested, thumbs up. I will definitely do benchmarking for this, and I will let you know what the benchmarking is going to be like. Until then, thank you guys so much for coming with me on this journey for the lovely Ryzen Sun build. I will see you guys in the next video of whatever I decide to do. But until then, keep your creativity going. Keep building no matter what, and always have fun with what you do in life. Till next time, ta-ta for now.